Mhm.
Hey, you're a poet and didn't know it.
Jump in, anybody.
Mhm.
All right, let's see, where's my Zoom? Where'd you go, Corey?
I'm here.
There you are.
Hey, you're a poet and didn't know
Oh, I knew it.
it.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Where were we? When's the last time we
the debate.
the
Debate.
debate?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
really? It's only been that was
the
just last
first.
week.
That was the first. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So
So.
weird. What time means nothing. Time is fleeting. Anyway, but so yeah, so the last time we watched, and it seems
Ooh.
like everybody's mixed on how well Dumbass did in the
It's not that he did bad, it's that he fucking lied every step of the way.
agree. I love how he got caught at the end though, and that's become the defining moment that I've seen played again and again, right?
Yeah.
I think the most telling moment of the entire debate was when he confronted the moderators and was like, "Hey, weren't we not supposed to be fact checking?"
That was very telling. I've seen that in memes too. That's probably the second biggest takeaway.
That
You're
is.
right. That's like
Yeah.
becoming a meme. People are like, "Oh wait, I didn't know we were fact checking." Yeah. The toddler comes to parents pooping in pants. I didn't know we were fact checking. Yeah, I've seen all kinds of ones on the mommy blogs.
That's funny.
That's very funny. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And a lot of independents who were like not really thrilled with either choice really came down strongly for Tim and that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll give him that he is a terrible debater. Like
He wasn't
he
lying.
he doesn't have that, quip,
Nope.
quick quip,
No taking sound bites at all.
no, not at all.
No.
But like everything that he was saying was largely true. He could have come across better on the nonsense about when he went
Oh
to
yeah.
like he should have just, been like,
Yeah.
yeah, I misspoke
Yeah.
and kept it moving.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, he was spitting facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he should have
you
been
came,
ready for that, and he should have been ready for the twisty, like to be able to change the subject.
Yeah.
And he
yeah,
wasn't. I think that's what we're referring to, right? A good debater on the political scene would be able to just change the subject. Be
Yeah.
like, oh, interesting you mentioned China, and then talk about something about China and just like lose it in the.
Yeah.
I kind of tried, but he didn't do it.
yeah. But and then on the other hand, Lover McCouch Boy, uh, came across as, the slick, polished
Yep.
Ivy League trash that he was. But and then, obviously all the lying, the trying to, you know, somehow r revise the history of Donald Trump
Yep.
and January 6th,
Yep.
and it, just to assert that he left power
I
peacefully
know, right?
on
It was
January 20th. You're
insane.
right, he did, because he didn't have a choice. They would have drug him out kicking and screaming, because the moment that Joe Biden took the oath of office, Donald Trump was no longer president
Nope.
and he was just a squatter
Right?
at the White
Yep.
House.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah. I like the whole we're gonna have to earn your trust back,
That was
ladies.
nice.
That was weird. That was weird because he
So
immediately went
ridiculous.
into like some anti-abortion nonsense afterwards. I can't remember exactly what he said,
Hmm.
but like like what do you mean you're gonna have to earn our trust, the women's trust? Like, what does that mean when you go back to immediately talking about taking their rights away?
Yep.
What does that mean in the face of like your comments about rape being an unfortunate, thing,
Hmm.
Yep.
or not correcting to not like no two wrongs don't make a right. Like,
Right.
what do you mean by that?
Hmm.
Right. Right.
Yeah, how
right?
about your actions reflect your words instead of just making up words that don't reflect your actions? How about that?
Yeah,
Just
Exactly.
ridiculous. Like, talk to your running mate. He seems to be very proud of the people he put on the Supreme Court.
yeah, yeah. And but it's weird though, because on right-wing media they were calling it a master class in debating, and they thought he did an amazing
It was
job.
master
And
debating.
If you were talking about like by like points, if this was like, high school debate or college debate, sure, maybe.
but you can't lie.
No.
You get
What
points
you
off for
should
that.
you do get points off of that. But from their perspective, like they don't see it as lying. They don't see lies as lies.
Gotcha. They
Yeah.
don't see it as, but it's fine.
Mhm.
It is. I mean, but
Fine.
you have to, kind of put yourself in their alternate universe shoes, to see how they arrived at that.
Right.
But like at the end of the day, like the internet searches and like all of the things that we actually think of when we talk about who won the debate,
Mhm.
Waltz came out slightly higher
Nice.
in all of those metrics.
That's good. That's comforting. That is good. Although, and then I guess the hurricane was after,
Mhm.
right? So there's all that. Speaking of misinformation, I can't believe Marjorie Taylor Greene's literally trying to say that we control the weather. Who they,
I'm surprised she didn't say Jews.
right? Because I think that was
Like,
they, maybe.
like I think that was implied,
I
but
think that
like
was the they.
I'm pretty sure, but like I figured they would have been at the point where they can just, in America you could just say Jews.
Terrible.
Jews do it.
Terrible.
Mhm.
And what are you doing to the weather, Corey?
Apparently I'm sending another one to my parents.
Stop it. Use your powers for good.
Yeah, that's
There's another
supposed to
one
hit on
going to
Wednesday,
hit.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Wednesday?
on Wednesday,
Phew.
it should be making landfall. Like literally, the eye is just above my parents' house.
I was just gonna ask, how did they fare in the first one?
Oh, they were fine in the first one because I hit the panhandle.
Yeah, right,
So like nothing really made it to them.
right. They probably got a lot of rain, but it wasn't like
Probably, but like it's fucking Florida. Like,
Yeah.
duh.
But is this one heading more closer to them, is what you
Oh,
said?
it is like literally on top of them.
Oh no.
Wow.
What precautions are they taking? Are you able to,
They're tying everything down.
are they staying through it?
At the moment, they're still saying yes, but my dad said that, it's a wait and see, you know, depends on how bad it looks,
I guess.
Mhm.
Closer to Wednesday. They are prepared to leave if need
Good.
be.
Good.
Also, if need be, they can go batten down in my sister's house,
Uh-huh.
which is far better constructed than my parents' house.
Same area though?
On same property.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so
That's good.
Gotcha. Well, Steve was saying earlier how they're looking at having to renumber our hurricanes, that our system now goes by how fast the winds are. And apparently how much rain is coming is actually even more important now that we're having these super storms that are so soaking. So that has to be factored in, because when you get a ton of raindrop, like how much dropped on this last one, it was something insane.
They said it was 40 trillion gallons on the southeast. They said it was equivalent if you dropped Lake Tahoe on that area.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So that's important for your parents to know too, when they're assessing it. They go, oh, it's just a hurricane 2 grade or whatever. Like, that's not necessarily, just what we think of in the past as a grade 2 hurricane. Right?
Yeah, because the flooding is like 50% of the casualties in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I don't think there are any major bodies of water too close to
Good.
my folks,
Good.
but they like half of our property is like Cypress, so
Swampy, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's actually made to, Cypress naturally absorbs things, doesn't it? I think
Yeah, it does. It
that's-
does.
Thank goodness. That's natural. That's
Well, that's
actually,
that's another thing they're working against in North Carolina. They were for the last 15 years, they were actually the building industry had
Yeah.
a real hold in the capital there, and they were reducing the building regulations, building on slopes, making things weather resistant, all that kind of shit. So they basically undercut a lot of the regulations that could have helped them
Right, well,
better weather that
they'll
storm.
build on cypress and they'll build on mangroves in the tropics, and
Right.
these are areas that are supposed to be, they're the
They're
mitigators.
natural water.
And you build on
Well,
that, fill it
that's-
in, like there's
And
nothing
that's
that can
actually the other
replace
thing I
that.
was gonna say, is they were actually getting rid of the things that were the natural water birds. Kind of like, they don't have mangrove there, but whatever the equivalent was
I think cypress.
in North
Sorry about
Carolina and in Cyprus, yeah.
Maybe,
So
yeah.
they were removing that to build on it, and you were losing the water, the beneficial characteristics.
It's full
Yeah,
Yeah,
circle.
we're like, I think my folks' house and my sister's house are kind of like right on the edge of the cypress,
Mhm,
like on a gray a mound,
mhm,
like maybe 4 or 5 feet up.
right.
So
What beach did you go to for vacation? If you were going to go on vacation from where you lived, what would be the closest beach, or the beach the area likes?
going to a beach was every day.
Oh, really?
Why
So
would
you
I go
are-
to the beach for vacation?
Well, I didn't know you were on the beach. You said you weren't near water.
Well, it's like an hour away,
Okay.
like
Okay, so what
everywhere,
beach are you an hour away from?
everywhere. Every beach is an hour away from Florida.
What beach did you guys go
Mostly
to?
Vera Beach, Sebastian,
Nice.
Satellite Beach.
Mhm,
Mhm, mhm.
okay. They're the smaller ones, right? Did you stay away from tourists? Did the
Of
area,
course.
did
Why
the
would I go
area
to where all the idiots are?
That's fun.
I preferred like beaches like where like you had to walk back up in there. Nobody really knows about them except
Mhm.
for like us local surfers.
Yeah.
To get to, except for at Satellite Beach. I like Satellite Beach because I liked when the F-16s would go low over the coast because they would make bigger waves.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
Mhm.
Oh, right. You're one of those stubborn people who insist on trying to surf the East Coast. Whole joke.
There's a
You-
great mix. It's a great mix of waves, like for whatever
Yeah.
style you have. I had a longboard and a shortboard.
see?
Like and depended on my mood that day, what I brought out.
That's fun. Kahuna.
So you said your sister's house is stronger, it's just the way it's built, or is it built in a
Yeah.
certain? Okay,
It's the way it's built.
okay, cool, nice.
Yeah, so that's like the hurricane lies. And what other lies are they selling? That Biden's administration gave FEMA money to immigrants, so there's no money for protecting the people and paying for the real citizens.
Yeah,
All of the
that's
money-
like the most insidious
Horrible.
like shit ever. FEMA is always running out of money. Always, always. As
Well,
long
Trump
as
gave
I
the
can
money.
remember.
Well, Trump did this. He used FEMA money to jail them.
Yeah.
So he used FEMA money and didn't have, so he did this. So that's why they say he's accusing.
Of course. Every accusation is an admission. But
Mhm.
like the reality is that like FEMA is always underfunded.
Mhm.
Like always, always. As long as I can remember. I remember Andrew being, FEMA was underfunded. I remember, what was the one in New Orleans? FEMA was underfunded.
Yeah.
Every fucking hurricane that I have ever fucking been through, FEMA was underfunded.
Except for Katrina, that was when Bush put that lackey in at the head of the FEMA organization, so he had no real experience with it. And he was he was in charge of the Arabian Horse Association.
It was still underfunded.
But I just meant like it was actually poorly run at that time.
Well, that too.
I mean, that's why they were able to get on the ground this time, like before
Yeah.
the thing actually hit. Like they're blaming Biden for this, that, and the other, but FEMA already had that in motion. Like all you gotta do
Yeah.
is put competent people in there and it runs like clockwork. I mean, like you said, it runs out of money, but
Right. And then they
it's
also
set
said
up,
all
yeah.
the money's going to Ukraine. So that's the other place where we're wasting our money, so that these people would not have had, I don't know, their town would be put right back, I guess. That like they
Yes.
couldn't get
They-
supplies faster than they're getting them, but
I swear, like they it's like they have either they personally have no memory longer than like this year,
Right.
or like they really think that the Southerners that are their base are that fucking stupid. And they you know what? I'm not gonna lie, they might actually be.
They might be right. Yes.
They might be right. I'm not saying they are, but they might be.
Yeah.
I don't think so though.
Yeah.
I think the most of us remember all of the hurricanes and hurricane parties, you know, that we've had over the years and how they've been run and like how things, you know, got done. And they're gonna see that this was, you know, a fairly typical, you know, for the size of it, you know, it's pretty typical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think
Yeah.
you said what the death toll now has
200.
hit Katrina level, right? It's
Yeah.
in that-
Yeah, it was really high.
Wow.
Like surprisingly high.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny that it just bothers the shit out of me. Like they just try to make everything political. Like that's the frustration.
I know. And it's so upsetting. Like the same people that you know say don't politicize,
Yeah.
you know, a mass shooting are politicizing a fucking hurricane, a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Who are the same people that politicized, you know, a fire,
Right.
you know, in under Trump, you know, who had to be told, hey, Orange County, like these are your people. They voted for you in order for Trump to give those people the money that they needed to rebuild.
Disgusting.
Like it's sick.
They're
It's
American.
it's more than it, but it's more than political. It's deeply personal
It is.
Mhm.
for Trump.
Yeah, it's petty.
Like, yeah, it's like a mean girl.
Yeah, totally. It's out of place in our politics. It really is. It's just like the worst yeah, mean girl behavior is perfect way to sum it up.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. Oh my God, it's so gross. And he accuses everyone else of it and it mucks it up. Like what?
Again, like I said, every accusation
Mm.
is an admission. Everything that he says somebody else does
Yeah,
is exactly what he has done and is doing.
yeah. And that's why I worry about the baby eating shit. Like why they like
You know,
who
I
eats
didn't think
babies?
about
Uh-oh.
that. I didn't think about it, but now that you
Right?
mention it,
Like are they who tried to eat a baby?
what was
Who ate
he
a baby?
doing in Bohemian
Right?
Grove?
Who fucking ate a baby?
Or that island with Epstein?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
telling you,
right,
like who
right.
ate a baby? Somebody ate a baby. That's where this came from. I don't know. Someone ate a baby.
Yeah, yeah.
That's too, yeah. I can't be the only one who suspects this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's bullshit. And I like like I do remember after 9/11, it was a terrible time, but like the country actually creepily came together. And I would see, you
I
know,
felt like it came together fairly quickly.
it really did.
I
And like
mean,
it was people had flags on their cars that I wouldn't even imagine people would. Everybody was like all of a sudden we were all American and we're all remember that time? Like
Mhm.
and like
I do, and then you know I thought maybe you know when I was because I was a kid still kind of
right, we
at the
were
time
old.
you know I mean like in my 20s, but you know just barely,
Right.
you know, but I thought you know well you know maybe it's just because we're you know we're down south and that's just how we are,
Right?
but like I also remember like seeing like people in California that were like you know, right there in solidarity, you
Yes.
know, everybody was being nice to
Everybody.
each other.
We laid off Bush
except
for
for
a while.
except for Muslims, we were not being very
We're a little
nice.
scared of Muslims, exactly. That was problem. But as long as you weren't like black people were like, wow, look, we're friends now. Because everyone was a friend except for anybody who looked like they might be Muslim. Absolutely. That was the problem. It wasn't a Shangri-La for everyone, but that cohesion that we had because had been attacked and we were together. Would we have that now? I mean, what if
Absolutely not.
that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying.
I mean,
We'd turn
you have
around and be like,
multi
"Hey, it would have worked. That's
on the Democratic side, everybody's friends except for, they're not friends with Jews. And then, on the right, everybody's, opposed to the left, and the left is opposed, like, and it's like there's no humanity,
Listen,
like there's no shared humanity
yeah.
or shared purpose other than the hating Jews.
Mhm.
Oh. But yeah, but
Hey, you
no.
have to make fun of it. You have to make fun of it.
Oh, oh.
Don't awe me.
I'll all you. That feels like an awe moment. But yeah, I feel we've lost that so much, and it's just like terrifying to me looking down at this election, wondering, what the hell is going to go about when these people that guy literally carried across into the Butler rally yesterday, or
Are you kidding me? I missed that.
oh
That should have
yeah,
been
it
should
was
have been memed.
insane shit. They did they sung Ave Maria, they gong, gong, they did all that. I don't know, because they're weird. They're fucking lunatics. Some guy there was a guy running around like with blood on his ear and a bandage pretending he
Oh,
was
that's twisted. Were they making fun of him?
no, he was participating. That would be funny.
Oh my
They were
Like
lord.
an
like,
action
yes.
play they had with Jesus, the whole thing in Germany.
Yeah, something like that. It was really
Unbelievable.
insane. Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird, like, to go back to the scene of the crime.
I don't even understand why he would do that, but I guess and if he was gonna do it for his for the bump in what he imagines he's gonna get from the press and shit, he probably should have waited until it was like closer to the election. But I mean, this whole weirdo parade thing he did, it seems like wasted. Like, I don't understand what the point is,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, personally, I don't give a shit. Personally,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that that's what people are doing, but they're right wingers, so why do I care?
Right,
Mhm.
Like,
and they
that's
are.
take care of your people, man. Do your thing, man. But like, fix your people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about it?
Yep.
Yep, and Elon Musk was there, leaping around like a maniac.
That made it probably infinitely more weird.
I think you mean more interesting, more impactful.
No, infinitely more weird.
Yeah, we should look at that.
Yeah, something broke in his brain, all right.
Yeah, what do you think happened to him?
Honestly, I don't know. I had heard once that he was like autistic, and that so for a long, long time I was like, I'm not gonna fuck with him.
Mhm.
He's off, but it may not be his fault.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Right.
let it be. And then he just got like just so hostile and weird and anti-Semitic, anti-black, anti-trans. Like,
Yeah.
it just became too much, and I had to speak up on like his wackiness.
Like,
Yeah.
something's happened though. I feel like maybe he had like, I guess mental illness does happen, it develops sometimes in adulthood. So I don't want to diagnose him, but I feel like something snapped. Like, he seemed okay. And now when I hear him
He's
read
never really
always
been
been weird. He's
okay.
always been weird, but like leaping around, like that's again autism. Like, he's leaping around and
Like he doesn't know what to do. Right.
He's
He's
really strange.
odd behavior.
Have you ever seen my son? I walked downstairs this morning to see him like spread eagle on the couch in his boxers, like playing with a rubber band around his junk. Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
What was he doing?
I don't fucking know. You didn't fucking know. Like, but I was like, what are you doing? Like, what if I had been your mom coming down? Do you want your mom to see you playing with your dingly dangly?
Boys are gross. What are you gonna do?
Gross and weird.
Boys are weird and gross. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Oh, I was looking for I'm looking trying to find the guy carrying the cross, but I can't seem to find that. Sorry.
No, that's a shame.
Oh well. It'd been a good one. Telegraph, but we don't like Telegraph, do we?
Hmm.
No. People are weird. And he's behind bulletproof glass. At least they learned that.
Yeah, that he is. I did notice that in his rallies recently, he's
Yeah.
been behind bulletproof glass. Well, you should have been doing that from the get-go, weirdo.
And that's another problem that I have with him. He was saying now his rallies are so small because it's Biden's fault because the Secret Service isn't giving him enough Secret Service that he needs to protect him for huge rallies. So they force him to have these shitty ones.
No, they just don't want to come, dude. That's why they were leaving early. You're played. You're played.
That's why Tom Cruise isn't obsessed with me because Steve keeps blocking him. Are you looking for it?
No,
No, he's
yeah,
wandering off
yeah.
playing. So yeah. Any other fake news that we can discuss or any other issues that you want to discuss? It's been a busy week and you've got a busy week coming ahead of you.
Yeah, unfortunately, tomorrow's October 7th, and a lot of us, are planning on attending memorials. However, that sentiment on our part is buttressed by the need to also protect ourselves because apparently the pro-Pally crowd has deemed us unworthy of mourning our dead and have planned numerous counter protests to those, kind of like what's that church the protest veterans.
Yeah, the Baptist church, the whatever one that
Yeah,
the pro-life things or
I forget what it's, similar to that vein. The FBI is and are issued a warning like to the literal entire Jewish community to be on the lookout between now and like October 10th, um, for potential terrorist attacks, violent,
right.
that they have obviously feel they have enough credible threats
That's
about.
right. So they
So,
may be targeting the memorial services.
uh, potentially like institutions.
Mhm.
I saw lots of mention about
Right.
targeting Jewish institutions, Jewish communities, like directly the Jewish communities. Um, obviously the memorials. I know there's a big one. Um, part of it's inside of Columbia. There's like supposed to be like a big like public art display thing. Um, but apparently like SBJ and uh some other pseudo hate group um has like registered like a bunch of like people to go as guests on campus so that the people that had originally been planning this can't have their own guests on the campus because I guess after last year there's like a huge limit. There's like some sort of limit on the number of guests that are allowed to be on the university at any particular time.
Mhm.
So there's supposed to be another um memorial outside of the gates of Columbia because it's a gated university.
Mhm.
And there's supposed to be a huge counter protest to that, you know.
But that's in New York though, right?
Yeah.
So how are you going up to that?
I was considering it, but I may not be able to just because of, Danny now.
Right.
I'm kind of looking for something to do here, but also maybe not, because I just don't want to deal with it. Like I can't. Like
Is
I
your community doing anything?
I the synagogue that I belonged to prior to all of this is very pro Pally. So I don't know what they're planning on doing or if it would align with like where I'm at.
Wow. So there is that kind of division within the Jewish community that you were a part of.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. That's challenging.
well, I mean, I'm a Jew, so I figured that, that there's always the kapos, and in every generation, to be honest, like you put three Jews in a room, you get 10 opinions. So
That's nice. So you're floating free.
I may, I just, I want to mourn my family that, I lost, and
Mhm.
you know, I don't need to be around a bunch of other people to do that.
No. Yeah.
Well, speaking of your family, it looks like
Milton has become a
now it has a
hurricane.
name.
Yes.
Milton is a hurricane.
What do we do?
Yep. Oh, it saw that coming anyways.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't know the name of it. Milton. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a dumb name.
I
What you
that's gonna be the one that's like a category 5, like, and
Milton.
pushes into like creating new categories.
Yeah, right. It's a 7.
Yeah,
On
what?
a scale of 5, it's a 7.
Uh-oh, I don't like that. I have to get the cat food.
Oh God. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Uh,
And then, like I said, I gotta on Thursday, I have to take Danny's gonna have her procedure to remove the kidney stones.
And that's painful. That she must be in a lot of pain. I'm sorry to hear
It's
that.
on and off. Like it's more of a dull ache right now. But like the day that like I sent her to the emergency room, like she came down in my office like at midnight, like
Oh,
in horrible, horrible pain, like just really hunched over.
yeah, it can be
Mm.
terrible.
And she was still resisting me sending her to the emergency room.
Emergency rooms suck.
Yeah, I know, but like you're in pain, like
yeah, you know.
get it taken care of. Like what if it was worse?
Or what if it's an appendix that's gonna burst or something? So you
I
have
know, because
Could be much
especially from where she was like complaining about,
that's
like,
dangerous.
so it'll be good when she's got, this round taken care of, because she actually has them on both sides, which is really sad. But I think the ones on the other side are smaller,
Mhm.
which means she may pass them, which is
Like
just
that,
as bad.
I was gonna say that's terrible. I hear passing them when they tell you, oh, you might pass them. It's like, no. So those other ones must be pretty bad. If I'm, it's not usual for.
One's, I think, like either 5 or 7 millimeters.
Eesh.
It's like the size of a corn kernel.
Ouch.
Yeah, right?
Some people make them into jewelry.
Who the fuck does that?
Apparently, they can be quite lovely.
No.
Put them through a tumbler, and they come out nice and shiny, and they frequently have colors in them. Like it'd be like, oh, that's so pretty. It's my kidney stone. Ah! Like that.
I was making fun of her the other day about, she should have been producing pearls in there.
Well, there she kind of did. See, people make
Uh,
jewelry out of them, but they make jewelry out of like umbilical cords and shit. So like,
oh,
ew.
that's so gross.
People do all kinds of disgusting.
That
But I
is
feel ashes, you can get turned into a diamond, a fake diamond. But hey, yay!
sure.
So is that an outpatient procedure?
It technically is, but they may still have to admit her depending on if there are any complications or anything. Um, it should be, like maybe a couple hours at most.
Okay, all right.
And then like anywhere from like two days to like a week of recovery at home.
Does she take drugs and stuff afterwards, or is there anything particular about the
Sure.
recovery?
I'm sure she'll have to have like pain management and uh I know they have her on something else, but I don't remember if it's um to help with the other ones or if it's I think
Maybe we shouldn't be discussing her medical status on YouTube.
We put the HIPAA clearance through on this one.
I'm sure she's good. She's good. Let's
she's
this up on the JJ
fine.
now. This is let's
It's fine.
She's not tuned in on
latest
this.
scan.
She's not
Let's,
tuned in on this.
let's
Is
get
she?
a latest scan up there and put it up there. Let's all look at it.
We already talked about
Let's bring up the
Pause it.
CT.
we already
Yeah,
talked
right?
about John's dingling, so what the hell? We set the bar.
Bar is very, very low on this show.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my god.
It reminds me of was it Titus?
So,
Was it him or was it the other guy that talked about his son coming downstairs and his son being in just a t-shirt with no underwear on the couch?
I don't remember that one.
One of either Titus or this other guy that I like that talks about his kids all the time.
Hello, Titus. No, get away from me.
Kids are weird and gross,
Especially the boy ones.
The boy one.
especially the
Boy ones
boys.
are the worst.
Yes.
I'm just glad that he had at least underwear on and
Right.
didn't have his like. I don't want his booty stain all over my couch.
There's a
Scrub
scotch guard
that
that's gonna
with
get that.
There's
Sell
the
that.
scratch card.
Torch it, just torch the whole couch at that point.
How many years before he's a teenager?
Not enough. Not enough.
Then the real fun begins.
Yeah.
He turns 10 on election day.
Oh wow, that's a big
Yeah, so
year.
he's gonna have his first double digit and
Exciting.
exciting and sad and
Mm,
terrifying.
Sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
growing up.
Yeah. I only got 8 more years of his annoying ass.
Before you show him the door.
Damn right.
Damn right. You guys are funny.
I put it to him something. I don't care if like he stays with us for a couple more years. But no girls, you better have a job, you better pay rent.
That's it.
Ding,
That's
ding.
it.
And you
That's our
still
rules.
abide by my
That's
rules.
the trifecta.
Those
That's
were
the
our rules, except
trifecta.
for the girls was the guys. But yes, that was
Yeah,
the same.
that's the trifecta.
Or guys, he can't.
Right.
I
But
mean,
it's not a den of iniquity for your pleasure.
no.
So you get your own, and because that's an impetus that helps get a kid out. Because if they can settle in, then it's like, oh, okay. And so yeah, you got to have that. That's a great rule. But yeah, good job. That's
Yep,
it.
those
That
are
was
the-
what
those
that'll
are the
get them
class-
going.
The classics.
Yeah, because without it, they don't leave. I can tell you that.
He's got to get up here to get up there. Hold on.
Alright.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So how have you guys been on watching scary movies? It's been what 6 days into October already, right? I've watched almost all of the Friday the 13th. I
Ooh.
watched Sleepaway Camp last night after John went to bed.
Interesting.
What's Sleepaway Camp?
The original.
I don't know that one. I
When-
don't know.
You don't know what it is.
I don't know what it
No.
is. What is it?
Oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta look it up. I don't want
Okay, we'll look it up.
to wait to the end. The end is a surprise.
Well, now I'm gonna have to know. I'm gonna write that down.
Sleepaway Camp. There you go.
I'll write that down. What's the scariest movie you've seen, Steve?
Scariest?
Yeah.
It's still for me, it's still the original Night of the Living Dead, the
Really?
original Night of the Living Dead.
That was
Hmm.
really scary, and it felt real.
I
like
was
it
also
happened,
5 when I watched it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right? But now that would still your scariest movie, though. If you watched it now, would that scary? Like, what if I was in
no,
a
nothing scares me.
right? Like, if
Nothing.
I wanted to be scared, what movie would you recommend? I definitely watch to definitely be scared. Being a jaded Philadelphian female, right? I think
The Hills Have Eyes.
that's a good one. And you assume I've seen The Shining, but I think that's always classically scary. I thought that was creepy.
I'm not scared by
You
those.
don't like that? I thought
films.
that was really creepy and scary that he changed on her. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe from a woman's point of view, it's terrifying
probably.
when you're with the guy and then he changes on you and you're stuck with him, and then next thing you know, he's all trying to axe you.
Here's Johnny.
It's just like, oh yeah, great. That's what I need. But she was good. What about you? Anything? Halloween was terrifying. I thought they did a great job. And any version of Halloween scares me because then it's like that point where we got him, we didn't. Right?
Both Jason Myers and Krueger have died so many
So many
times.
times. So many times. The first Nightmare on Elm Street was pretty scary. That was all right. You didn't like
That
that?
was good. I thought it was funny.
Well, it was funny. It was funny, but it was also very gory and scary, though.
It was gory. But it was funny, and it was funny. Again, like
Not terribly scary for you.
things just don't scare me.
Yeah. Yeah. Blair Witch didn't scare me.
Yeah, that was pretty funny,
That
actually.
just confused me.
Yeah.
I was just like, what
I
on earth
actually,
is
I
going on?
actually just got sick just because of the
Yeah,
filming.
right? It was really shaky, and then it was
It
stupid.
it
And I'm like,
it gave me like motion sickness.
Mhm.
Yep, yep. And I was like, this can't
Same
be.
with Cloverfield.
I love Cloverfield.
I loved it too, but
Loved it.
there were
I didn't
portions
mind it.
that I got like kind of little motion
Yeah,
sickness.
I could watch that all the time. I love big monsters chasing like in realism, like if you're actually running from a big monster. I love those movies. They're so fun.
You know what else we watched? House.
House. Not the
Mhm.
series, but the
No,
show.
the movie.
Is that
There's
based on the
several.
Shirley Jackson one? Is that is
There are
House based
several
on
of
that? I think it
them.
might be.
There are several of them.
Yeah.
We watched the one from like the 80s or night or whatever, where they had like the weird uh like it was about the writer that went into like the house was like haunted and it killed his mother, and he moved in there at like because it had also taken his kid.
Oh
He
wow.
went in there to go get his kid back,
Mhm.
basically. And it's funny. It's hilarious.
Well, when a house takes your kid, you can't. I don't think that's easy to get your kid back. The Others was a good one. The Nicole Kidman one. That was cool.
Yes, that was a good
That
one.
was really nice. I like that.
Mhm.
They did a good twist on that one.
I've always really loved like horror comedy.
Mhm.
I liked Ghoulies, Trolls,
Gremlins.
huh?
Gremlins was funny.
Yes.
That was-
Critters. Critters was really funny. All of the Nightmares on Elm Street were really funny.
Right.
I thought they were really fun.
And there's one, I think it was called, is it Manhunter? The one um, where an alien was getting into people's bodies and then the person
Oh, that
would-
was a good one. Yeah.
and then it was funny because he liked fast cars and he liked like all the kind of, so whenever someone just went nuts and got into a car and was like, "Arr!" they were with the alien. That was a funny one.
Yeah.
that
It's the guy
Manhunter?
from Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
He was the
yeah.
agent or something, FBI agent sent to
Yeah,
get
it
him
was
or
so
something.
funny.
Really
That was
funny.
really
Yeah,
funny, but scary a little bit.
Yeah, a
gory.
little bit.
A little bit scary,
Yeah,
but mostly funny.
yeah.
And I just learned that in Poltergeist, the first one, those were real skeletons.
Were they?
Yeah, it was at the time, it was the cheapest way to get skeletons was not like resin was so expensive and da 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 da. So they used medical school ones from India.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
Okay.
like that's part of the curse is that you were actually using the pool was full of skeletons, which apparently is why the people in it were so freaked out in the video. They're like, by the way, those are real. What? Those are real.
Oh, speaking of like fucked up shit, like I watched that movie Civil War, which really made me miss being a full-time photojournalist. You know,
I don't know
again.
anything about the movie.
Oh, it was really good. It was really
A
good.
movie about the Civil War, just called
No,
Civil
no, 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 no. About if the US went
Oh,
into another
oh.
civil war.
Where'd you see it?
It, on
Streaming? It's
the
on YouTube?
on the
On the TV?
DirecTV, yeah.
Okay. Is it a new thing that's out, or is it
Yeah,
the,
it came out like either earlier this year or late last year.
oh,
I think
interesting.
it came out earlier this year.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
And it made you wish you were back in the
Because that's what it was primarily about, like was like a group of photojournalists going to document, you know, the war zone in America, you know, and like getting from where they were in, I think, New York,
Wow.
um, down to, I think initially, Charlottesville
Okay.
is where they were going. Yeah, Charlottesville.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
remember the lake in that was right, it was on in the same campground where we uh camped when we were covering Charlottesville,
Oh, wow.
Cool.
where our cabin was.
That's neat.
And then they went up to from there up to DC,
Mhm.
you know, to document like the fall of DC.
Wow.
But it was really, really great.
Sounds amazing. Sounds
Cool.
really cool. So you went to Charlottesville and covered Charlottesville? Do you have like pictures of the guys with the tiki torches and shit?
No, 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 no. I went to the anniversary, not
Oh,
the
okay.
initial thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say those would be amazing pictures.
Yeah, I miss the when they went and went or you know the initial thing. I don't remember what I was doing. I was in the process of like a project at that point, like so, like it wasn't feasible for me to go irregardless.
Right.
Mhm.
There's a lot of photojournalism that is by chance. Like you never know when things are gonna hit the fan.
Yeah, a
Whether
lot of it. I mean, you generally try to, you know, guesstimate, you know, where things are going to hit the fan, you know, but it's also a lot of money. Like, you know, how do I get there? You know,
But for
and
this election, when do you think it's hitting the fan if it's gonna hit the fan in this election? Because last election, it didn't hit the fan until they certified the vote. But it was kind of hitting the fan like the day or two after when they were at different state houses, right?
yeah,
Where
they were, it was all over the place. It was like there
Yeah.
was stuff like there were, you know, counter protests, you know, here,
Yep.
like to try to stop the vote. There were, you know, it was everywhere, really. And I think that probably it'll be the same.
You think so?
Yeah. Um, I think that you know, maybe it'll be a little more dispersed, you know, this time. You know, I don't think you'll necessarily get another January 6th.
Mhm.
You know, I hope,
Right.
you know, that they've at least learned that lesson
Right. Where do you
at a
think the
minimum.
action in Philadelphia would be if there is any action? Will it be on election day? Do you think it will start after the polls close?
Probably after the polls close, probably the next day.
And where? City Hall?
Wherever they're counting it, probably.
No, no, it's not. No, no, it's not.
No. What?
No, no. Where they count it is so far out,
Oh, wow.
like, and it's really, really secure out there. Because remember, I've been going out there for like the past couple of years,
Mhm.
and it is super, super secure.
So you
Like
go
there
out there to cover it or to count?
to cover the count.
To cover the count. So
I've
you've been going
I've
out there.
covered the count for you
I
guys.
know you have. I'm just asking you, and it wasn't in the city. I see
No,
it
no.
in
I
the
mean,
city.
it's in the. I mean, technically, it's in the city,
Mhm.
but it's like
Yeah.
way out there in like Northeast.
Interesting.
Mhm.
And it's super secure, so that wasn't in, so
Yeah.
that's not where you're gonna see the action in Philadelphia. Do you
Mm-mm.
think you would see it at the polling things, that people would be intimidating? We're gonna have intimidation at the polls, do you think?
Probably not. I know that our AG and other election and like law enforcement people have, you know, made it very clear like that we have a strong system in place to report any intimidation whatsoever.
Mhm.
Um, so that would be quashed really quickly. I think that it'll likely be at City Hall the, that night or the next day. Um, perhaps, you know, where it was the last time in front of the convention center,
Right.
you know, but that and the other thing is like that you don't get like there's no public notice or information like where they do the counting
Mhm.
is a secret.
Wow.
Mhm.
Like I didn't when I went out there, like I didn't find out where it was until I got my confirmation.
Wow.
And then I was asked not to tell anyone.
Wow. And that's not the way it is in every municipality.
No, no.
Philadelphia just knows to be secret. And they've probably always been like that.
No. The for the 2020 election, it was in the convention center. That's why it was there.
Okay,
That's why there was that big massive protest because they had it in the convention center.
right. And now they moved it. Good to know. Good to know, Steve.
Mhm.
Because if you remember, I couldn't even tell you guys where it was.
I do remember that it was an interesting coverage. You're right. Absolutely right. And I do remember you went down for the inauguration, but nothing really happened the inauguration. People were worried that there was going to be something happening for the inauguration.
Yeah, and there were a lot of signs that like, you know, that there would be.
Yeah,
But the presence was so overwhelming and the security was so overwhelming,
Mhm.
like there was no way.
good.
You couldn't even get close to the White House or anywhere or close to where, you know, Biden was being sworn in without having been searched like 4 or 5 times.
Mhm.
That's wild. But that was good. That was kept peaceful. So we know they can do it.
Oh yeah, they can do it. As long as you have somebody that wants it done.
Um,
That's the key. Wait, oh, speaking of,
yes,
there was the drop of the
the,
not the drop of it, but the release
yes,
of uh Trump's new indictment,
yes, yes.
which made it very clear just how intimately he was involved in all of it.
Right? Nothing was surprising, but everything was like, wow, they actually just wrote everything down. Like it is so specific. He was he totally did it. He totally did
Oh yeah,
it.
he was absolutely responsible and he was at the helm of the conspiracy.
Yep. So I really hope that I mean I know he's been but I mean I need to hear that from more mainstream news sources that are picking it apart and uh not being as clear as you are being in getting what you get from it.
I mean,
I,
I didn't get to read all of it because it's 160 some odd pages,
yes.
which is really only about 180
Right,
or about 80 pages of actual information,
right.
you know, because it's all double spaced and whatnot.
But
But
I also
still, like
mhm,
a very, very detailed like
yep.
conversation
Mhm.
and like, you know,
People heard in the plane that they heard he was saying
Mhm.
he's just gonna say he won and let him, and that's his strategy. You don't
that
have to.
was his campaign person, like his,
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. I was really pleased with that. That was a lot, and the whole so what. Well, you
yeah.
can't be acting as president if you go, so what if your vice president is being attacked? Because that means
Mhm.
you're not acting as a president at that point. You're just acting
Yeah.
as a freak,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So, I mean, it's very damning. it would be nice to see that come to some sort of justice, but you know, I guess we have to get through this hump. One foot.
Yeah,
at a time.
well, you got to get through this hump, and then it's going to go all the way back up to the Supreme Court again because it is.
Now it is.
Um, hopefully, Jack Smith made it tight enough and can argue it well enough that there's just nothing for them to grab on to.
Let's
Mhm,
hope.
mhm.
Let's hope. I don't know.
Unfortunately, the last decision was so vague in like, they didn't provide like any real guidance,
No.
for how to measure it. So,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
kind
they
of
couldn't because it was insane already,
well, yeah,
right?
like,
So they
yeah.
just add on. They're like, no, you do the insane thing, Tanya Chutkin. You tell us what we mean by this because we can't. We're just Supreme Court people.
Because if you remember the last time, like their essential argument was, yeah, the president can hire, or order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate, his
that's it.
rival,
Yeah.
and that's a presidential act because it's an interaction between the military and the president,
Same.
so like that's why they chopped out all of the stuff with DOJ and like all of that stuff.
Right, but he's
Mhm.
still guilty as fuck.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, but that's insane. We need to fix that. That's a problem.
Yeah, big problem.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. What a great
No,
idea.
no. All legal scholars, every single legal scholar was like, "What the fuck?"
Insane. Yeah, we gotta fix
Mhm.
that. So yeah,
Definitely.
all right. This was fun. I think we're just getting shell shocked on our sad, slow march to the election, but that could just be me.
I'm trying to have hope.
Yeah, that's good. Tell me how that works.
Hopefully not the way it did in 2016.
We're all going to be tying rubber bands on our junk.
I,
Well, good luck with Danny and on your profile thing. Send us anything you
Yeah,
think we
we
can
would watch it or
run
run with
with
it
in
or
the next
whatever.
edition.
right on, right on.
All right. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
You too. Thanks.
Right.